Hello friends, this is Terry with your Libra Solar Eclipse reading. The eclipse portal opens on October 14th. How are you feeling now? Aries, North Node, Libra, South Node, Eclipse Portal opening on October 14th, Astrology reading. And we will have a solar eclipse happening on the new moon Libra on October 14th, Saturday, October 14th, just after that magical Friday the 13th. I love having Friday the 13th. And we just had that really powerful Aries harvest supermoon. How are you feeling after that? I know so many of my clients I've been seeing are feeling overwhelmed, a little bit anxious and exhausted from all the energy of not only all those retrograde cycles that we went through, but all the 4 super moons in a row, kind of leaving us a little depleted. And there's a lot of change on the horizon. It feels like everyone I know is at some major crossroads. Crossroads at work, crossroads with life purpose and direction, crossroads with where they want to live, crossroads in relationships. Maybe you're feeling that you're at a crossroads too. And whenever we have this kind of crossroad energy that really seems to come up around these eclipse portals, I think of the goddess Hecate. Hecate is the goddess who stands at the crossroads with her guardian dogs of protection. I might just leave an image of Hecate here so you can see her. She's beautiful. And you can call to Hecate, Hecate, show me the way. What direction do I need to go in? Where's my next move? As we stand at this crossroads going in to that fall season. We just had the fall equinox, and if you haven't already watched my fall equinox and my Aries supermoon readings, those are just down below. There's just a lot of things happening right now as we go into this Aries North Node, Libra South Node, Dragon's Tail, Eclipse Portal, and I did a whole separate astrology reading on what that means. We're going to be soaking in this energy all the way through 2024 as all the eclipses will be on that Aries Libra axis. Aries, the sign of independence, the I am, the warrior. But Aries needing to learn the lesson of how to ask for help. And Libra, the sign of balance and harmony and peace. I think that Aries and Libras will be affected the most, especially if you have Aries, Libra, rising, sun, any planets you have in Aries and Libra. But especially if you happen to be an Aries North Node, Libra South Node, or even a Libra North Node, you guys will all be feeling it. So let me know down below if you're an Aries, if you're a Libra, if you have the North Node, South Node, and Aries and Libra, because I know you're feeling the intensity of this eclipse portal opening on October 14th. And this Aries Libra nodal axis, like I said, it's going to affect us for all of 2024. Going forward, wherever Aries and Libra shows up in your astrology chart. So look for the house. If you have your astrology chart, you can get free astrology charts online, easy peasy. And just look for the house of Aries and the house of Libra. That's where you're going to be feeling all of this. And I'm also doing an eclipse astrology sale. I'll leave the link down below in the description. You can get your chart read for $88, and I will throw in where the eclipse shows up for you for the entire month of October, and you can learn more about how this eclipse will affect you personally. I'm also going to do a reading for all of the zodiac signs, but that is very generalized. Whenever you see a reading and they say this is how the eclipse is going to affect Scorpio, Taurus, whatever, It's really very general. It's more effective if you have your chart and you can look at the house, and that makes a huge difference, and it's more powerful to know what house Aries, like for me, Aries is in the 8th house and Libra is in my 3rd house of communication. So these eclipses will be affecting my communication and my 8th house of money. And this eclipse portal cycle, of course, begins with the solar eclipse happening on October 14th at 9:13 a.m. in the west. You might want to check the times for where you live if you live somewhere different. And my friends will tell you I am extremely superstitious about eclipses. There are times when astrology makes you incredibly superstitious, and eclipses are definitely one of those times. In the Ayurvedic Vedic astrology, they believe that a solar eclipse is when the demon Rahu Ketu, that dragon's tail, is going to swallow the sun, literally swallow the sun. And that is why the light energy of the sun will disappear and everything goes dark. And if you've seen a total solar eclipse, I got to witness a total solar eclipse, I think it was in 2016 with the Aquarius North Node total solar eclipse, which was very visible here in Central Oregon. So many of us saw that one. And the whole sky goes dark as the sun is swallowed. But this can lead to diminishing, depleted energy. We get our energy from the sun. The sun radiates its light. We are solar-powered beings. So when that sun disappears because it is swallowed by the demon, as according to Ayurvedic Vedic astrology, it can leave you feeling depleted. It can feel a little depressing. Just that diminishing of light can feel like the darkness is coming. And so it's very ominous energy. And eclipses are a terrible time to start something new. So this is not a new moon where I'm really necessarily going to set an intention for a new thing. I would not start a new business. I would not launch my podcast. I wouldn't do anything that needs a lot of energy during this new moon cycle because of the eclipse. It's more of a depletion of energy. There's just not enough energy to support putting something new into the world. So this is not a new moon to birth anything into being. And I do a lot of astrology chart readings for people who do want to start a new business, or maybe they want to move into a new home or start a new relationship. And I love to do those readings. And I would say don't start something new. Don't launch your business on an eclipse date. And really for the whole month of October, I just wouldn't really launch anything, publish anything, or put anything out that I wanted the energy to be about. And that is because I am superstitious. But kings and queens of yore would actually hide. They would go into hiding during eclipses because that's how much they believed something scary, negative, bad. There was it's like a bad omen that something ominous might happen. So just keeping that in mind. I find some hope that this eclipse is happening on October 14th, just after Friday the 13th. And Friday the 13th has always been such a sacred day for the goddess religion and for women to come together and gather. Of course, in our society, there's always all this, again, ominous, like, oh, Friday the 13th, it's so scary. But for divine, feminine, goddess religions, Friday the 13th is actually a day of women empowerment, and that is probably why Friday the 13th is feared, because who doesn't fear a powerful woman? But we have some incredible goddess energy coming in at this time. We're right at the cusp of Navaratri in the Indian culture, which is the 9 nights of celebrating the goddess, all the goddesses Lakshmi and Durga, and I love to follow that. If you follow that, I might be doing some posts around the goddesses over the course of October 15th on. And I like to do just little shorts in devotion to all the East Indian goddesses to pay homage. But we also have during this eclipse Black Moon Lilith, who has just stationed into Virgo on October 4th. And Black Moon Lilith will be exalted in Virgo. She's right at home, just like Chiron's right at home in Aries. Black Moon Lilith in Virgo, she loves to be in Virgo, the sign of the Vestal Virgin. And I am going to do a whole separate astrology report about this because I have so much to say about Black Moon Lilith in Virgo. And she wants us to take back our power now. She's all about sovereignty and having good boundaries, good energetic boundaries, and protecting your power, calling your power back to yourself. And we also have Venus, who's stationed direct and is now rising in the east as morning star. I encourage you to go out in the morning, in the dark, just before dawn. You can go and look to the east and you will see Venus shining so bright. She's in Leo right now, and she's just about to transition into Virgo, where she will join up with Black Moon Lilith. And then we have Juno also entering Virgo. They're all lining up in the stellium of goddess energy in Virgo. And Juno enters Virgo on October 17th, just after this eclipse. And Juno, goddess Juno, was known as Hera, and she was the queen of gods. And she was one of only 2 legally married women in Olympus, along with Venus. So Juno and Venus get along really well together. And Juno was married to Jupiter, the king who grants wishes. And we're going to have a powerful Jupiter-Venus trine just after this eclipse on October 22nd. I think I'm going to do a separate report on that Venus-Jupiter trine. But Juno was married to Jupiter, the king, and she embodied those traditional ideas of monogamy, commitment, motherhood, marriage. Really very different than the virgin Black Moon Lilith, who denied Adam in the Garden of Eden. So these 2 are going to be together in Virgo. And Juno is this lunar goddess who oversees marriage and childbirth. And you can also ask Juno to help you find your soulmate. You can plead to Juno to find true love, and Juno always delivers. So if you're looking for love, call upon Juno during this eclipse portal, and she will help you to find love. She wants people to be connected, but she also symbolizes more of a mystical union with the universe as a whole. She's all about connecting to source to have your needs met. So if you're somebody who's trying to manifest and you need to connect to source to get the support, you can call upon Juno for that. And she talks about overcoming your own separateness so you can dissolve into the universe and completely connect to source at this higher vibrational love energy and become one with the universe. It sounds to me a lot like enlightenment is what Juno is all about. And she's just the polar opposite of Black Moon Lilith, who does not want union, but wants to have sovereignty and to be standing in her own power and doing it for herself. And so she's the independent, unmarried, childless powerhouse of female expression. And Black Moon Lilith in Virgo wants to become a healer, an oracle, and do her own thing as like the Vestal virgins of ancient times. And I'm going to talk more about that in my separate Black Moon Lilith report, so look for that. But I envision Juno, Black Moon Lilith, and Venus all coming together in Virgo, these divine, feminine, goddess energies coming together in the sign of Virgo and just having coffee and just talking about women's issues. And we are at a time with all these goddess planets coming in strong that women's issues will be at the forefront. And it'll be really interesting to see what comes up when all this divine feminine energy comes together in the sign of Virgo. And if you are a Virgo, if you have Virgo rising, if you have North Node, South Node in Virgo, or any planets, or just whatever house you embody Virgo in, you will be feeling a lot of these issues around marriage or divine sovereignty or Venus empowerment, and just feeling all the feels in your sign of Virgo for the next few months. I mean, Black Moon Lilith is going to be there all the way till July 2024. So we have plenty of time to unpack our feelings around to be married or to be a spinster, or however you view all of these goddesses and the gifts that they are bringing in on this Libra solar eclipse. And later in this month, we will have a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. And this will be the final, final eclipse on that Taurus-Scorpio axis that we have been working with for the last 2 years. And if you are a Scorpio Taurus, this is the finale. Everything is wrapping up now, so we are completing the cycle. We're about ready to get off that roller coaster ride. I can't wait. And this again, though, is interesting because we have a new moon Libra, which should in fact go into an Aries full moon. But we had the Aries full moon last month, and now we're having a Taurus full moon. And that axis, when we look at the astrology zodiac 12 houses, you will see an axis. And Aries Libra is on an axis, and Taurus Scorpio is on an axis. So traditionally, we would have new moon in Libra leading to an Aries full moon, or new moon in Scorpio leading to a Taurus full moon. But this month we have a Libra new moon solar eclipse leading to a Taurus full moon lunar eclipse. And that is a sign that the axis is a little bit off. We're a little bit off our axis. Do you feel a little bit off? I feel like for the last year and a half, we have been off our astrological axis, and it's making everybody is just kind of feeling a little off. Leave it in the comments if you're feeling a little off. And a Libra eclipse means that the power and the energy of all things Libra will be eclipsed, will be darkened, diffused, depleted. Everything Libra is going to be blacked out for just a little bit, right? That's what happens when the sun is swallowed and we go into darkness. All of our Libra strengths get diffused, darkened, depleted. And so let's think about what Libra represents. What are we losing on this solar eclipse? Libra is the scales of justice. And so I would not want to have a lawsuit pending on October 14th. It's like the scales of justice might be diffused, depleted. Justice is always blind, but justice will be particularly blind on this week of October 14th. And Libra is also those scales that create balance, right? So even we might lose our equilibrium. You might be feeling a little bit off balance, off kilter, off axis, like I was just saying. And we may experience some vertigo, or just a kind of a, I don't feel balanced, I don't feel grounded, I don't feel rooted. Get out into nature if you feel that way. Nature will bring you back into balance, I promise. Nature therapy is amazing. Or just take off your socks and shoes and go barefoot in the grass and do some earthing to regain your balance on this eclipse portal. Because we will be losing some equilibrium when the Libra energy is diffused. And Libra represents peace and harmony. Of course, Libra is ruled by the beautiful planet Venus. I was just talking about Venus, love and harmony and peace. And so I hate to see that peace and harmony be darkened under this eclipse, but that is what it's like. We might have a little more aggressive energy. The opposite of Libra is Aries, which is a very aggressive warrior energy. We might have unrest. All the things opposite Libra are unrest, conflicts, arguments, and even war. War, which is ruled by Aries, the opposite of Libra. Aries is the warrior. Aries, ruled by Mars, has that aggressive energy. So when the Libra light of peace and harmony is dimmed, we have an uprising of angry, protest, warrior, aggressive energy on our planet. And just be careful when you're out there in the world. Like I say, don't engage with crazy. There might be this a little bit more aggressive energy on this October 14th eclipse portal as it opens. And Libra rules over our relationships, our friendships, and our partnerships. And it's the natural ruler of the 7th house of relationships. So we may have some relationship conflicts or issues. Our relationships might not be running as smoothly during this eclipse portal. But did you know 7th house also rules over legal contracts? I wouldn't sign a contract during this eclipse portal. That's just me. Again, I'm superstitious, but 7th house rules over legal contracts, enemies, and power struggles. These are all the things that can come up during this eclipse portal. Just knowing this is, it just helps you go, okay, this whole legal battle is coming up because of the 7th house Libra eclipse portal, and this too shall pass, right? But don't get so embroiled in all these things. And if you can avoid signing contracts, if you can avoid arguing with your enemies, if you can try to go towards mediations, I think that lawyers are going to have a heyday with this whole Libra eclipse portal that we'll be in for the next year and a half. There's going to be so many lawsuits, so many legal contracts, so much use of the legal system during this eclipse portal. And this eclipse will spark some really big changes in your relationships, friendships, and partnerships, and the whole work-life balance is going to be up for a brand new way of being. We're going to have to sort out a whole new way of how we manage our friendships, partnerships, relationships, and the work-life balance. And this will be a time of big releases, big change, and it can even cause abrupt change, especially if you are a Libra rising, or you have your north or south node in Libra, or any major planets in Libra. Whatever house your Libra resides in, you may see some abrupt changes, like losing your job, losing your housing, losing your relationship. And just know that whatever is being removed, it's just making way for something even greater, even better on your path, Libra. So just have faith, surrender to the process. I like to say surrender or be dragged when you're in these eclipse portals. But it's really just clearing out the old ways to make room for the new way that is coming in, a new, better way, a new, higher love vibration, a new, better job, a new, better housing situation. So if you lose something, just hope and pray that something better, even better, is on its way to you. And we will be having a lot of new beginnings, new alliances, new relationships, new friendships, and new partnerships under this Libra. And then we also have Pluto. Pluto is finally going to station direct on October 10th. Just before this eclipse portal, and that is going to just add to the transformation, because whenever a planet stations direct, it's like they're just really coming into their power. So Pluto's coming in strong here in those last degrees of Capricorn, just before Pluto makes the big shift into Aquarius, leading us into that age of Aquarius. And so we're going to be feeling Pluto's transformation coming in strong on this eclipse portal too, saying it is time to make way for the new way, that new age of Aquarius that we are all calling in. And then Mars enters Scorpio on October 12th, also right before this eclipse portal. And that's just going to give us this boost of ambition. Mars was the natural born ruling planet of Scorpio before Pluto was discovered. And so Mars is right at home in Scorpio, and Mars likes to get things done. Scorpios know how to work with Mars energy. And it's going to give us a strong backbone to just stand up to anything, any crisis, any struggle, any conflict that comes of this eclipse portal. We will be able to handle it with Mars and Scorpio. We are fierce. We are a fierce warrior up against whatever comes our way. So just know that Mars is bringing us that strength. And Libra, again, like I said, is ruled by the planet Venus, and who has now risen as morning star in Leo. And if you look for Venus in that early morning sky shining so bright, she will just inspire you. She will help you get through, because Venus rules over Libra, and Venus is empowering us now as she's getting ready to move into Virgo. Venus will empower us during this Libra eclipse portal to look for the higher love vibrations, to just open our heart chakras. I like to go out in the morning before dawn and just stare up at Venus and just let her energies pour over me. I swear, you got to try this. And then we also have Mercury coming in so close to conjunction with the Sun and Moon at 17 degrees of Libra during this eclipse portal. And Mercury, thank God, will help us to communicate if we are having relationship issues or friendship or partnership issues. Mercury is the great communicator, and Libra is really all about negotiation and mediation. So Mercury will really bring us this beautiful expression in this solar eclipse time, to get out your journals and start writing. If you can't tell someone how you're feeling, maybe just write it out just for you. And I hope to do a lot more writing this October with Mercury and Libra, and then as Mercury continues on into Scorpio. And there's so much talk from other astrologers about relationship struggles during this Libra eclipse. And yes, we do have to keep our eye out for that. But I think, what if it could be positive relationship changes? Because I'm seeing a lot of people who are actually going into therapy right now, who are doing the hard, heavy lifting work to work on their relationships. And I see this more of a time of a rebirth in relationships. I'm seeing a lot of renewals of vows, of people coming back together, maybe even people who broke up during 2020. I know it was a chaotic time. Maybe we all just spent too much time with each other in 2020 and 2021. But now, as we're entering 2023 and beyond, people are kind of like, maybe I broke up too soon. Maybe there was real love there, and people are uniting, coming back together. And maybe that was the part of the retrograde, that renewal of vows, that rebirth in the relationship, and that falling back in love that I'm really seeing with a lot of my friends. So maybe if there's someone you were separated from, this could be a time of reconnection. It doesn't have to be all negative with these eclipse portals. Even though I said I was superstitious, it's not all bad. Our relationships could have a reclaiming that could happen during the next 2 years too. And finding a new way forward with your relationships, partnerships, within your community, with your friendships, all that 7th house stuff. And just a powerful time for mediation and negotiation. And if you do have to sign a contract, you know, hopefully you really work on getting what you want out of it. And then we're just going to see so much relationship, partnership, 7th house stuff. Tell me what planets are in your 7th house. That's what you're going to be working on during this eclipse portal cycle too. And like I said, I have an eclipse astrology sale. If you don't know what's going on with your chart, you can get a chart and I'll tell you how the eclipse is going to affect you, and the link is down below. And the one last transit I want to cover for this eclipse portal is on October 16th, just 2 days after the eclipse. We have Jupiter quintile Saturn. And a quintile means that Jupiter and Saturn will form this 72-degree angle. And I see lots of quintiles when I'm reading all of your astrology charts, so you guys might be familiar with this word quintile. They are important to take note of, especially when you have two power planets like Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter, the king who grants wishes, and Saturn, the lord of karma, who's here to teach you a powerful spiritual lesson. And when they become quintile, we may just step into a whole new path forward with new life lessons in a new kind of expansion of desires. And this will bring out some new talent. You may be developing a new talent or skill at this time. I know for me, just during this quintile, I'm going to be taking a class with the radio station to get my radio DJ. I might have a radio show for my health guide. And so what is a new talent or skill that you could develop right now to expand your reach, to step into a new soul lesson? Is there something new? It could even just be a new hobby, a new creative expression is going to want to come up. Some new skill where you follow your heart and you do something creative. And what is it that you want to pursue? You can really start, even though I said don't start a new business, I don't believe you should start a new business during this eclipse portal, but you can start a new hobby. Nothing wrong with a new hobby, right? And you might feel like you want to get really organized. Oh, the wind is bringing me all these leaves. The leaves are falling. And this quintile in Saturn and Jupiter makes you want to get really organized and maybe create space so that you can get creative. You know, maybe making one of the rooms in your house a little creative art studio or a place to journal or meditate, or creating a spiritual altar where you can have all your crystals. We're going to be just kind of craving this kind of spiritual, creative space during this quintile. And you may be craving some way to begin again, some new thing that you can do to just get back in touch with your spirituality, maybe even getting back in touch with some old friends. Saturn loves old friends, and Saturn just recently went direct too. And just see where this quintile just after the eclipse is going to take you. There's something new that wants to bring itself to you, some new development, some new opportunity here, so that you can tap into some higher learning, that's Saturn, to expand your reach and just see what shows up that wants to lead you somewhere down your path. Just be really open-minded about it. And I want to read for you the Sabian symbol for this solar eclipse in Libra, and it is at Libra 21 degrees, a Sunday crowd enjoying the beach. And there is a revivifying contact with the mother force of nature found in the ocean, of social togetherness, enjoying this ocean experience. And the sea is the vast matrix from which living organisms originally emerged. It also symbolizes a collective unconsciousness, matriarchal envelope of the biosphere within which consciousness takes individualized forms. And this consciousness of human beings is given specific form by our culture in which we live and the particular occupations that we will carry on in everyday work. But it is very good and healthy for their minds to become revitalized by collective experiences and deep feelings of unity and connection as they merge in the vast refreshment of their planetary mother. where she is the most dynamic. Wow, this really ties in for me. This really ties in with all that divine goddess energy in Virgo, that sign of, oh, it's just so beautiful. And the mother, where she is the most dynamic, here lies a biodynamic foundation reaching beyond the biosphere to a greater cosmic mother, an all-embracing galactic sphere. As we saw last month with the Aries supermoon crossing that galactic center, there's almost like this galactic center that is like the divine mother calling us home. And we may speak here of an oceanic motherly feeling born of attunement to the most basic rhythms of existence. Divine feminine energy rising, evidenced even in the Sabian symbol for this eclipse. I think that's so beautiful. And I hope you have a wonderful eclipse portal. Hang in there. I know it's going to be an intense little roller coaster ride, especially for the Libras and Aries friends, but we'll get through it together. And I will also do a reading for each of the zodiac signs for this eclipse. So stay tuned. Thank you.